Alrighty, y'all. Hello and welcome back. It is Friday, my favorite day of the week. It is the weekend, and I hope it's going to be an awesome one for you. We're just going to have fun. It's Halloween. Let's look at some strange and weird stuff from mostly Europe today. Here we go. All right.
What are the hell doing? Why is everyone touching that dog's nose? They just can't go past me without touching it. Why is that? What do you
This
see
is
happening
strange.
here,
What's
guys?
happening in Scotland?
What are the hell doing? Why is everyone touching that dog's nose? They
I guess it's a statue of a dog, and they're all touching it.
just can't go past me.
Is the nose of the dog literally discolored from all the oils of people's hands over the years, or what?
Why is that? What do you see happening?
Okay, so obviously I wouldn't know this. I wouldn't know why. Maybe it's not super strange. It could be like some pretty known, I don't know, tradition or superstition or something.
Here, guys.
You guys have to let me know. It says somewhere in Edinburgh, Scotland. So
There are 2,500 taps in Rome that can't be turned off. They're called nasonae, and there are water taps left by the ancient Romans that are still used today. Plus, they're safe to drink from. To use them, cover the bottom and the water will sprout at the top. There are 2,500 taps in Rome that can't be turned off today. Plus, they're safe to drink from. To use
Look, I'm mind blown by historic things, especially in Europe, right? I mean, it's, there's no shortage of amazing historical places, items, what have you, in European countries, right? Now, this is super cool. Is this literally 2,000 years old?
them, cover the bottom and the
I
water.
find that hard to believe, obviously, as an American, right? That is just unreal to me. I think it's super cool. It's just, again, I just can't comprehend that. I think that's awesome. I don't know about drinking out of this, though.
will sprout at the top. There are 2,500
I just have a feeling people aren't lining up and taking drinks out of this.
taps
It's
in
literally
Rome that
like a
can't be turned
rusty
off. They're
tap
called
right
nasonae,
there.
and there are water taps left
Rusty
by the
pipe.
ancient Romans that are still used today. Plus, they're safe to drink.
No. Is this cool? Yes. Is this something that you should get a drink from? Probably not. Also, like this cast, I don't know if it's cast iron, cast metal, whatever, like this housing here. Again, I know people made spectacular things long ago. This looks like almost in too good a shape to be as old as it's saying she is. Or as old as she's saying it is. I don't know. I have a lot of questions with this one, but it's fascinating still. What the hell? It looked like a normal kind of like double-decker bus, but then as they get closer, you see trees, like tree branches, and they're literally trimming tree branches. What the hell? I suppose they have to do this because if they do have the double-decker buses and they're open on top, like you can't have branches hanging over and, knocking people in the face, right? That would be less than ideal. The odd thing is, my head, I want to think of like if you're doing landscaping or city work, like you're in a work truck, not a literal bus that looks like a passenger bus. But maybe this is just a case of this is the best tool for the job, right? It's the perfect height. You're using that as the benchmark for the actual passenger buses. I don't know. This is kind of funny. Whoa. Followed by troopers and helicopters? Is she serious? Battle cry. Okay, this has got to be surrounded around like a football tournament, right? Or maybe just a big game between rival teams or clubs. I got to learn about that last year quite a bit. I'm guessing that's what this is because I saw many instances in different European cities where they kind of take over like a whole pretty good section of a city on game day, right? I'm assuming that's what this is. That sound reminds me of it. It's really impressive. It's something kind of crazy. I always wonder how like locals who aren't into this game, feel about it, but it's something you don't see here, right? I'd say we have big sports culture here, but it's just not in this manner, right? We can't compete with this. Like there's not a sort of unified fandom with battle cries over here in the States. That's just not a thing. Things I find weird in Naples. People dry their clothes in the streets. I mean, not weird. They don't use dryers. That's what you do, right? The only way across the street is by having confidence. Now, the streets do look crazy over in some of those places. I agree. That's not what I expected from that door. Okay. Body language, of course. The universal language. That was kind of bland with like the clothes and shit there. I mean, yeah, the traffic's bad. That was kind of fascinating, though. This does look like a giant door, if I can get it to pause there. That's actually funny. I would not have understood that. The door handle's in the middle, like also odd. Yeah, only a local would know that's a door. An American for sure would never guess that.
This is the strangest airport in the world because it's the only airport that gives you access to 3 different countries at the same time. It's called Basel, Mulhouse, Freiburg Euro Airport. Basel for Switzerland, Mulhouse for France, and Freiburg for Germany. And it is the only airport in the world that is managed by 2 different countries at the same time. That means the moment you arrive within the same building, you can choose to take the exit through the French side or the Swiss side. And
so that is, I'm guessing, on the border of those countries, right? That's the only way that would work, right?
Applies to the law of that specific country. This is just crazy.
That is
if
kind
you
of
were to land at this airport, which country would you go first?
So you land, you get in there, you get all your stuff, and then you literally exit through doors with the flag, like, which country are we going to, right? It's kind of like, that's pretty unique. Yeah, I can safely say that's not your typical airport experience. Things I found bizarre about France, okay? When I try and cross the road at a zebra crossing, the cars won't stop. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming... yeah, that's just up to the driver, really, right? And laws, but who knows? The French dog owners don't use the... Okay. I mean, that's nice that they have these. Obviously, if people used them, it'd be better, right? That they have these throughout the towns, I guess. Free dog poop bags. Gotcha. Well, yeah, bread, salad, fruits, they go off quickly because they don't, contain a crap load of chemicals or preservatives. I think that's why people go, from what I understand, people go to the market almost every day in European countries, like for the most part, right? I'm sure everyone's situation is different, but like it's pretty common, right? That you don't have to take the car 30 minutes to the grocery store like some Americans do. So, we tend to stock up on stuff and not go every day, whereas you might just get groceries for what you need that night at the grocery store in France or wherever for a lot of people. My duvet keeps falling out of the duvet cover when I sleep in my bed. I have no idea what she's talking about. I am sad to admit. What's that noise? It sounds like the siren from The Purge. It's horrifying. Everyone talks about that. The warning, like the test, right? The warning tests, warning siren type things. They must be freaky in European countries, man, because everyone's like scared of them. Went to the supermarket to get some Halloween-inspired treats. There doesn't seem to be much choice. Halloween seems to be like, it's per country, right? I think most people might be aware of Halloween, but it just might not be super commercialized and, a grand holiday celebration in most countries. I think it's just very casual or almost non-existent in most places. That's what I seem to have learned. They celebrate autumn produce more and consume less sweet things. All right, that's it. So that's interesting. Some people in the comments said, French person here, Halloween used to be huge in France, but seem People seem to have fallen out of love with it, which I find sad. That's odd how that kind of evolved, right? If anything, I've heard of like Halloween getting slightly bigger in some places. Although here in the U.S., I keep seeing tidbits on social media here and there of like people not going all out with Halloween, like in the last couple of years, because right, the USA is just in such a rough place, right? Most people financially are just not doing great. Cost of living's crazy. The country society here is crazy. So people just feel like they don't have the funds and the time to care about holidays as much. When I lived in the UK, Halloween wasn't a thing. Now I thought Halloween was decent size, like pretty big in the UK. You get conflicting things online. That's what can be frustrating. They considered it American, which is funny because it's not. I've always heard Halloween was Irish, like Irish origins, 100%. I've never heard of Halloween being invented here. That's definitely not right.
Okay, you guys need to see this. This is possibly the strangest thing I've seen since coming to Europe. In Austria, they don't actually stick their telephone poles in the ground.
Huh?
They just suspend them on these like concrete pillars. None of their telephone poles are actually in the ground.
What?
Okay, you guys need to see this. This
Okay,
is possibly
why?
the strangest thing I've seen since coming to Europe.
See, I like ones like this where it's something really obscure or just really strange.
Austria, they don't actually stick
I've never seen a telephone pole not in the ground. These are, in a sense, levitating, being supported by these concrete,
their telephone poles
brackets.
in the ground. They just suspend them on these like concrete pillars.
That is so weird. There's got to be a reason, though, right? Things usually, when they're different in European countries, I've noticed it's usually for a good reason.
None of their telephone poles are actually in the ground.
Even this angled one is not in the ground. I'm stumped. I'm trying to think of why this would be. I really don't know. What do you guys think? Does someone know? And is this common all throughout Europe? This could only be in Austria. I'm not exactly sure. This is what's kind of fun to discover about different places. This is interesting. More interesting than it should be.
Okay,
There's got to be a reason.
Where am I? There's one chair.
Ew, this is
Where am
creepy.
I?
A year ago today in Greece, we went to this museum where we were convinced it's stuck in a time loop. There's like 3 projection screens or 2. One chair. It's like a long, empty room. Yeah, there's 3. What in the hell is happening?
Where am I? There's one chair.
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Also, what is with like the outfit here?
Where?
What is happening? Hey, so I've had this exact place in my dreams, and I had to keep on going back into different time periods or else I'd fall in the endless pit of nothing. Wow, that sounds terrible. I have not had that dream. I mean, this is pretty wicked. It's actually cool. It's also really weird. And I like how you go in to the mouth of this thing and it's got like real anatomy looking. Didn't expect that.
The strangest
Let's
place
go.
in the world. This garden was built by a British millionaire who was kidnapped and held hostage in Ecuador. Colin Armstrong founded an agricultural business in Ecuador where he still lives. One night, him and his mistress were snatched from their beds and while they were sleeping and taken away by armed men. Colin was held hostage before eventually being rescued by the Ecuadorian police. He's since built a garden filled with dark secrets and traps.
Oh.
On the surface, it looks like a family-friendly day out, but beneath your feet lies a labyrinth of tunnels that lead to a statue of the devil himself.
Oh my God. Hell
It
no.
started as a private project, but has now been opened to the public, so anyone can step inside and try and find their way back out. The garden is full of
No
interesting
thanks.
sculptures and secret doorways. A great day out for all the family, as long as you don't mind getting wet.
Welcome to the Forbidden Corner, one of the strangest parts in England. Follow Leigh and him to discover more interesting places in the world.
Okay, that place is freaky. What? Filled with tunnels, traps, secret doors. It's called the Forbidden Corner. Yeah, I'll pass.
This is the weirdest thing I've seen in Europe.
Urinal. Pee corners. What the hell?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
This is the weirdest thing I've seen in Europe.
I could almost smell that through the screen. Yo, that is pretty wicked. Well, she got an education that day. This is what I'm talking about when we say, what are some of the weirdest things you've seen in Europe? Now, of course, thankfully, the description tells us this is in Portugal, because we all know the country of Europe, right? Gotta love that. It will never end, unfortunately. I've given up hope. But in Portugal, now I assume this might be a thing elsewhere. You guys will have to tell me. But at least in Portugal, they have corner urinals. Yeah, that's different. That thing's got some miles on it, or some kilometers on it. That's seen some stuff. I love how we've seen some of the most cleanest, most advanced kind of restrooms ever in Europe in past posts, and then we have this. The contrast is absolutely hilarious.
Just wait until you see this. What on earth is this? What on earth?
Ooh.
Just wait until you see this.
That's eerie.
What on earth is this?
This is in Nottingham. Please, can anyone tell me, have they had the pleasure of seeing this in person? People say in the comments that it's actually a good idea. It's kind of to deter drivers from like driving fast. So they have bollards, and then these are essentially bollards as well. They just happen to be, look like small people or children. That's really interesting. I guess it's also to, stop the cars from pulling up here and parking. That's what someone else says in the comments. You have to let me know if those are the actual reasons. I imagine it must be something like that. Because if you, with the exception of people that might travel the street every day, most casual traffic and or tourists or whatever, right, are going to turn on the street and they're going to see that and they're going to just slow down. They're going to be like, what the hell is this? Is there that many people walking in the same color outfit? Or those statues or what? Either way, it's going to make you be more aware and slow down. So I guess it's doing its job. This is super eerie, though. Like, some about it is almost a little freaky. Weird things you would only see in... I mean, this guy's literally painting a clock, like behind a screen or something. I have no idea what I'm looking at. It's Amsterdam. Okay, cool. This ought to be good. Amsterdam, I've heard, is unique, you could say. There you go. there you go. No explanation needed. And the duck store and wild pigeons just everywhere. Not a care in the world. And whatever that is. All right, Amsterdam, I see you. Another day, another weird European shower. Even European showers can be weird. According to this person, by the way. Now, is this a little bit different? Sure. Different than you would see here. But there's a lot of different types of showers, even here in the States. I've had many types in places I've lived. This is not confusing to me. I don't know, right? You just open up, get in there, close it up, right? It's pretty straightforward. It's kind of unique how it's like half cylindrical doors like this, but I don't think it's that weird. I don't know. This is apparently in Norway. I'm sorry, but I disagree with the poster here. It's not weird. Like, dude, just open the door and get in there. Like, do you need an explanation? A city built for millions, but empty streets for miles. Riga, Latvia. Honestly, it looks really pretty. Something about the snow in the brick looks cool. And, of course, the architecture. So apparently it says in the description that Riga is one of the strangest places we have been. It looks like a huge city that there should be millions of people crowding the streets, but it's empty. Day or night, walking around, you will only see a handful of people everywhere. Makes for a nice visit to the Christmas market. The people you do meet are friendly and welcoming. The city is beautiful and reasonably priced, but where is everyone? So obviously I wouldn't know. You guys have to let me know. I was under the impression that Riga, Latvia was a pretty decent sized city. I've heard good things about it as well. I just don't, I've gotten mail from there as well. Like, it seems like a cool place. I've never heard of it really being empty. That does sound rather bizarre. So I don't take this video with a grain of salt. If this is an accurate representation, then why is it so empty, right? I understand it might be cold or whatever, but lots of cities are cold.
Are weird foods that we eat in Spain. Okay, the first one will be morcilla, which is like a sausage made of pig's blood, rice, or onion. Then we also eat orejas, which is pig ears, mollejas, which is a part of the throat of an animal, callos, which is made with morcilla and the stomach of a cow, and then higadillos con tomate, which is the liver of a cow or a pig with tomato sauce.
See,
these are weird foods.
That last one
a pig
looks good. It doesn't look bad. Some things like literally look bad, right? This one actually looks good. Some of these other ones didn't look the most appetizing, but then again, this is my American lens here, right? You got to keep that in mind. The U.S., right? Our cuisine's a lot different, a lot more not traditional, and, well, quite frankly, a lot more playful fake foods. Like, we all know that, right? So it's kind of funny seeing traditional foods from different places always seem a little bit jarring or alarming to an American, right? And these certainly are. I have no doubt in my mind that some of these are probably delicious, right? I tend not to, like, knock on food like, oh, that's disgusting, right? Especially when I've never tried it. Now, I'm a human being. I can certainly say that some of these I would be hesitant to try or I'm not sure about, right? And I think that's fair, especially when I haven't, grown up with it. But these sound interesting. A couple of those I'd rather not try. If I could, not remind myself what it is, I'd probably try this one and then maybe the first one. You'll have to let me know if you've tried these, or maybe if you are from España, if you eat these all the time. Some pretty hilarious comments on this one. You don't believe in wasting anything. I guess so. I liked all of these when I was in Barcelona, but now I know what they are. I assume some of these, with slight variations, are probably in different European countries as well, right? Would that be fair to say?
The weirdest shit I've ever seen in a public bathroom in Europe. So you wash your hands.
Hey, I think we've seen these.
Water, whatever, right? And then you look and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, we have seen this from a different angle.
And I tried ripping it. I was like, why isn't it coming up? Interesting. The weirdest shit I've ever.
It's odd because we have the same looking machine. It's just you either have a lever, you pump and it comes out, or there's no lever and you just pull and rip, right? Pull and rip, right? That's what we have here in the US. This is does a better job of showing compared to the other time we saw this, of how it works. It kind of just revolves around forever. You pull it out and it just goes back in. I don't know. And maybe, to be fair, I don't know exactly how it works. I get the idea of how it works, that it rotates around. What I don't get is how it stays hygienic and clean. That part I don't understand. That being said, I do think this is odd, right?
Weird things you can find in Europe, part 2. Okay, so first and foremost, if you want to open the window,
we love these.
You can open it
so
like
jealous
this.
of these. Look at how thick and heavy that thing is.
And then you can also open it like this.
Oh, that's so awesome. What? Do think you guys should have screens though.
The blinds.
But this is so cool.
No blinds. But you take this.
Oh. Okay, now I've never seen that part.
And they're on the outside. And you just keep going like this. And then if you want to open them, you got to turn that handle.
Aren't those called Rouladen or whatever? At least in Germany, maybe in Switzerland. I'm not sure.
Still figuring it out.
So you can bend that rod 2 different ways, and that's how you lower the blinds. That's pretty cool, actually.
They're genius, though. I'm telling you, if I ever get windows,
they are genius. They are.
Or buy a house, I'm getting these windows. I don't know if they have them in America. Never seen them.
I've never seen these ever in the U.S. I would like to think, I guess, with the right amount of money, anything's possible. I just have never seen them. You would think in some rich establishments you've seen this in the U.S., but I personally haven't. So maybe it doesn't matter the cost. Maybe these just are not a thing here.
I mean, we
could just like look into what it would take to immigrate here.
Yeah, I'm sold. We're totally moving here.
God,
I
this is
wanna
beautiful.
live like this.
$42 for 6 eggs? Babe, I don't know if we can move here. We have to move here.
40,
I mean,
is that
just, like, look
right?
into what it would take.
Is that right, though? $42? Whatever that is in euros, it's close, right? What would that be, like 40 euros or something? I don't know. Ballpark, right? That is a lot. I don't know if they're making that up. I couldn't see the price myself. I'm almost thinking that that has to be fake. I've heard that Switzerland is very expensive. I don't quite believe that it's that expensive, right? I've no doubt it's pricey, but $42 for eggs, that sounds absolutely crazy. Now, people do point out in the comments, I think they might have been making this up because some people say that, this is like the third comment I've seen, that people say Switzerland is actually cheaper than most parts of the U.S., and that's what's kind of crazy. I actually don't doubt that because I've done many videos showing some common items, some common groceries and prices in different countries versus here. And for me, I had no idea before this channel, but I had, had a hard pill to swallow, basically, finding out that the U.S., a lot of our stuff is pricier here than it is in most countries. I've lived in other countries. I promise you, America is not tops right now. No, I don't think it is. I don't doubt that for a second. Someone points out it actually says 4 francs. So that sounds, I don't know how those compare to US dollars, but I'll tell you this. I think they were definitely joking, and I think that probably sounds cheaper than the US. Honestly. So this is supposedly in Sicily. This, ladies and gents, is your little reminder that there's a lot of AI stuff out there. This is clearly AI. What's shocking is this is actually from last year, and AI seems to evolve like every month, right? So this is kind of old in terms of AI. Pretty damn old, actually. I will say it's not real. It's not even realistic. But I will say it's kind of impressive-ish for AI. Usually they look absolutely terrible. This one looks decent. Obviously, it's just not real, though. But I'm impressed that it looked this sort of convincing to maybe people unaware of anything. For 2024, I'd say this is pretty good. But yeah, there's your little warning, some AI slop out there for the day. And the comments are filled with people saying, hey, this is AI. I hate AI. Like, this is going to get people, blah, blah, blah. Some people saying they literally Googled wall eel because they can't tell what's real anymore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's fake. I mean, call me crazy, but we're going to end on that one. That is pretty funny, nonetheless. Hopefully, I would hope none of you have seen that in real life. Because if I'm wrong and that's real, then oh my God. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend and a happy Halloween to anyone that's interested in that and celebrating it. I hope it's a great one. But regardless, just have a great weekend. I appreciate you being here. And yeah, with that being said, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.